Welcome. It is Thursday, September 3rd, and today we're going to take a look at different forms of linear equations. Alright, to write an equation for a line. That's what waffle means. Write an equation for a line. Alright, there's three different ways you can write an equation for a line. Three different forms. Point gradient form, which you guys know as point slope form. Gradient intercept form, which you guys know as slope intercept form. And then the general form. So if you want to write an equation for a line, waffle, these are the ingredients that you need. Okay, you need to either know the y-intercept, which would be a point 0, c, and you need to know the slope, which we usually use m to represent. Or you could make a waffle if you knew one point on the line, so you knew an x and a y coordinate, and you knew the gradient of the line. Or you could take 2 points and make a waffle with it. So you could have a set of 2 points that are on the line, and that would be enough to write an equation for that line. So you did this back in Algebra 1, so today's just a brief review of it. Alright, so when we talk about gradient, slope, or intercept form, alright, that's the same as slope-intercept form. Okay, except in the IB world, they call it gradient-intercept form, but it's no different. We know it as the equation y equals mx plus b, and IB uses mx plus c. Doesn't matter, just a different letter. M is the gradient or the slope, and in this case, c is the y-intercept, some point 0, c. Okay? Alright. So to write an equation of a line, if you have an equation and you want to write, or you have a line, you need to write its equation, then all you got to do is, well, look at what my ingredients are. I know the slope right here. Okay, so my slope's 2. I look right here, my y-intercept is 3, so my equation is simply 2x plus 3. Pretty straightforward. That's slope-intercept form. Okay, now with horizontal and vertical lines, if we were going to write the equation of a horizontal line in slope-intercept form, well, from the other day we know that this has a slope of 0. So m is 0, and the y-intercept is 0, 4. So c is equal to 4. So if I was writing this, it would be y equals m is 0, x plus 4. So this is simply y equals 4. Horizontal line. Now a vertical line, if we were doing the slope of a vertical line, you end up with a 0 in the denominator. So this slope is undefined. And there is no y-intercept. Okay, so you can't write 0 for the y-intercept. None exists. All right, so when we're writing the equation for a vertical line, okay, we can't put an m in because this is undefined. And we can't put a c in because that does not exist. There is none. There is no c value. there's no y-intercept. So a vertical line is going to be x equals whatever the coordinate is of the x-intercept. So in this case, the x-intercept is 3, 0. And we usually represent that using a b in this case. And that would be 3. So that's our equation for a horizontal line, or excuse me, a vertical line, and the equation for a horizontal line. All right, so here's your two. When you're talking about a horizontal, it's just the y equals the y-intercept, and if it's a vertical line, it's x equals whatever the x-intercept is. Okay, so that's your y-intercept. And this is your x-intercept. Okay. So, write down the following. The equation of a horizontal line that passes through 0, -2. Okay, so we know that's the y-intercept, so our equation is simply y equals -2. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, a vertical line that passes through 3, 6. So we got 3, 6, and we want a vertical line. Okay, so for a vertical line, we know our x-intercept here is going to be 3, 0. So our equation is x equals 3. I just did that. All right. The equation of a line with a gradient of 0 passing through 3, 6. So this gradient of 0 tells you this is a horizontal line. So we know a horizontal line is going to be the equation y equals c, and c is the same as the y-intercept. So if I was to draw a line, okay, and it goes through 3, 6, which is right here, but it's horizontal, then that line's got a y-intercept of 6. So the equation is going to be y equals 6. Okay, its y-intercept is 0, 6. All right. So waffle minimum ingredients. We talked about it. You need to either know the y-intercept and the slope, or you need to know 1 point and the slope, or you need to know 2 points. All right, so we're going to take, we want an equation that has a given slope containing the point 37. So this satisfies this right here. Okay, so all we do is substitute in these values. That's x1, y1, and there's our slope. So y equals mx plus b, and now, or excuse me, mx plus c, and we plug in those values. Okay, so 3 goes in for x, -6 goes in for m, 7 goes in for y, and we solve for the y-intercept. Add 18 to both sides. And I get c is equal to 25. So that's my y-intercept. So my equation would be negative 6x plus 25. If I wrote it in function form, it would be f of x equals 6x plus 25. Now the only difference between problem 2 and 1 is on 2 you've got 2 points. So what you have to do first is calculate your slope. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 take away 6 over 0 take away 3. So that's negative 3 over negative 3, which is 1. So m, I know my slope, m is 1. Now it's going to be just like the previous problem. M equals 1, and then just choose one of these 2 points. So I'm going to say passes through. I'll pick 0, 3. Okay, so now it's just a matter of plugging it in. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, 1 goes in for m. That's x, that's y. 0 plus b. So, well, I'm so used to b, and darn IB is c. Okay, so c is equal to 3. All right, now I'm going to take that and write my equation. Y equals 1x plus 3, or just y equals x plus 3. Okay, find the slope-intercept form. Now it looks like we just did that. Okay, so let's skip that one. All right. Write the slope-intercept equation of the function f whose graph satisfies the given condition. The graph of f passes through 6, negative 8. Okay, that looks like that would be right here. All right, and is perpendicular to the equation x equals negative 7. All right, so perpendicular to x equals negative 7. Well, x equals negative 7 is a horizontal line. Or, excuse me, I said horizontal and I wrote vertical. I mean, it's a vertical line. Okay, so perpendicular to a vertical line is going to have a slope of 0. It's going to be a horizontal line. So there's really nothing to do here because we know it's got to go through 6, 8, and we know it's a horizontal line. So our line is horizontal. And it's going to be going through 6, 8. 6, negative 8. And that would be y equals -8. Okay, write the slope-intercept equation. And, oh, by the way, if it says function, when you put this into Math Excel, you would write this as f of x equals -8. If you're prompted to write the function. All right. So write the slope-intercept equation of a function whose graph satisfies the given conditions. The graph of f passes through -6, +5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is perpendicular to a line that has an x-intercept of 4. Okay, so an x-intercept of 4 and a y-intercept of -8. Okay, so we got a line here that we want it to be perpendicular to that line. Okay, so we can figure out what the slope of that line is. It's got a y-intercept of 4, so that's 4, 0. It's got an y-intercept of -8, so that's 0, -8. And now if I use my slope formula, I'd have -8 minus 0, and then 0 minus 4. So the slope of that line is +2. Okay, so I want a perpendicular slope. Okay, so a perpendicular, that stands for perpendicular, an upside down T, a perpendicular slope to 2 would be the opposite reciprocal. So that's going to be negative, and it's going to be 1/2. Okay, that's the slope. So m equals -1/2. And then it passes through the point -6, 5. So now I just substitute that into my slope-intercept equation. xy. So that -1/2 times -6 plus c. -1/2 times -6 is +3. So c is equal to 2. So there's my y-intercept, there's my slope, and I can write my equation -1/2 x plus 2. So this line goes through 2. And it has a slope of 1 down, 2 right, 1 down, 2 right, 1 down, 2 right, down, 2 right, 1 down, 2 right. And it would look something like this. And that's, well, I should write it in function notation. F of x equals -1/2 x plus 2. All right. Write the slope-intercept equation of a function whose graph satisfies given conditions. The graph of f passes. Looks like I left out a word here, but it says it has a y-intercept of 0, -4. So we know our c value is going to be -4. and it's perpendicular to -7/2. So its slope is going to be +2/7. So this is the really easy ones to write. You don't have to do any calculating. Y equals +2, 7, x minus 4. Okay, and if I just check that to see if it was correct, I'll draw those two lines. So that's, there you can see that we are indeed perpendicular. Alrighty. So that's a pretty straightforward lesson on just a quick review of slope-intercept. And that's all today, folks. So see you next time. Take care.